Has the AFC South been won today by Tennessee because of this deal? For that, with Matt Musil and Daniel Gotera, it's Kim Davis, the host and creator of Chalk Talk. So, does this Julio Jones trade on Sunday win the AFC South for the Titans, Kim?
I have no idea. Listen, it definitely makes him better offensively, right? They had a bunch of weapons already. He was a little limited in last year because he had that hamstring injury. But even with that, he still averaged about 14 yards a carry, 14 yards a reception. So he can be really good. They already had really good offense, so we'll see. I think we have to also see that I think another team that could be really good in the AFC South is the Colts. So I wouldn't automatically give it to the Titans, but they definitely made themselves a lot better by getting Julio Jones.
Hey, rarely does one player move decide a division title, but I think it happened today. I really thought the Colts would make a run at Julio to give Carson Wentz that security blanket, but I guess their salary cap issues were just too much. They didn't want to restructure some of the guys, and their first and second picks for next year are basically gone because of the Carson Wentz deal. So, the Titans are big winners on this. So they already have a great running game, right?
Yeah.
Wow, Tannehill's going to look really good. He's got A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I think the Titans just won the division with this deal.
Well, I'm not ready to go that far yet, only because of what Kim brings up. I love the Colts. I think that this is an organization that knows how to do so many things well on so many different levels. And plus, Julio Jones has a bit of an injury history as well. So, yes, if he's on the field, he certainly makes the Titans better. But I'm not ready to hand this division title over to the Tennessee Titans this very day.
Well, I wish from a Houston perspective that this mattered, because are not going to be competitive, so it didn't matter what the Titans or Colts did. But I don't know if they're the favorites. Well, I think they are the favorites to win the division, right? But, the Titans defense is really suspect, man, and they've had some issues in the past. And that's why they loaded up on defense in the draft. They haven't had much of a pass rush the last couple of years. Their secondary has kind of been eaten up. Offensively, they're going to continue to be a juggernaut. But that's what Mike Vrabel's trying to do, especially through the draft, is build up the defense. And if they can do that, remember, Kansas City's the team to beat. That's the team that everybody in the AFC is aiming for, and you have to have a stout defense to do that. They can keep up offensively probably, but you got to stop them too.
Does this deal make Bill O'Brien's trade of DeAndre Hopkins look any better when you consider the return?
No. Nothing makes that trade look better. Good, decent, acceptable. None of those words apply.
Because the Atlanta Falcons are in a much different, they're in a rebuilding phase. And, the Texans, they were a few minutes, a lot of minutes, but close to an AFC title game. So I don't think it makes the Bill O'Brien, DeAndre Hopkins deal look any better.
They got nothing for D-Hop. And he was younger. He was healthier. No, it doesn't.
Being it's June, a lot of graduations, a lot of class reunions. Here's an interesting question. Which Houston sports team reunion, imaginary if you will, would you love to crash or just drop in on?
There's so many. I was thinking about it, but the one I'm going to pick is the 93-94 Houston Rockets championship. We talked about Clutch City, never underestimate the heart of a champion. That was a fun team. Matt was around then. I covered that whole series, even Game 6 in the Madison Square Garden with the OJ slow speed chase. I mean, that team, that whole postseason was amazing. Akeem, Otis Thorpe, Kenny Smith, no particular order, Sam Cassell, Shecky Brown. I mean, there's so many people. I want to go to that graduation reunion imaginary party thing.
As you know, I went to my wife's high school reunion last night. Shout out to Baytown Lee, the Ganders out there in force last night. I've got to agree with Kim. Those the championship teams, all three, 2 for the Rockets, 1 for the Astros, those would be fantastic to be a part of. But that first Rockets team was because it was a first for the city. I just remember I told this story a while back when the assistant coach Jim Boylan came out with the trophy and showed me. He said, I don't know what happened, but we broke it. I mean, the ball was hanging off the Larry O'Brien trophy. It was such a wild party. Oh, yeah, I want to get back in on that. That was so much fun. Rudy T and his guys had such a cast of characters, as Kim mentioned. That's what I want to be on.
I think it'd be so cool to get Phi Slamma Jamma back together because, you know, I don't want to date myself.
I tend to go with teams that weren't that good because I think they have a lot of interesting stories. So bear with me on this. I'm going to go 1982 Oilers, coached by Eddie Biles. They were 1-8.
Oh my God.
I got to believe that those guys had some amazing stories. And of course, the late Eddie Biles, he was an amazing storyteller, right, Matt? So that would be a pretty good reunion just for the stories alone.
On Wednesdays after practice, there were some stories because it was mandatory free beer for everyone after Wednesday's practice, including the members of the media, if we weren't on deadline. So that would have been a good group right there.
Wow.
Kim Davis from Chalk Talk, thanks so much for being on Sports Extra this week.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was fun. I'll see you at the party, Matt.
You bet.
And next to